The static went silent. No sound. No breath. No Elliot. Just darkness, thick and absolute. A void wrapped around the old church's rotting bones. Then a flicker. The TV in the center of the altar buzzed back to life. But it didn't show Elliot. It showed someone else. A child no older than 10, standing in the middle of a kitchen, confused, frightened. The image jittered, as if struggling to hold the signal. Then the screen blinked, and the church was empty again. Elliot gasped awake. He was lying in his bed at Mrs. Hargrove's. No church. No television. No static. No whispering voice. Just the ceiling, stained and cracked. The same pale wallpaper. The same hum of silence. But he knew something had changed. His shoes were muddy, and in his palm, clenched so tight it had drawn blood, was a brass key. A small tag dangled from it, with one word engraved in delicate cursive: transmission. Downstairs, Mrs. Hargrove poured tea like nothing had happened. "You dreamt, didn't you?" she said without looking up. "It wasn't a dream," Elliot said, voice hoarse. "I was at the church. I saw it myself. Then a kid." She placed the teacup in front of him and finally met his eyes. "You're starting to tune in." He stared at her. "What the hell is this place?" She didn't answer. Instead, she leaned in and whispered, like sharing a secret with a grave. Greystone was never built for people. It was built for memory. Elliot left the house. The sun was too bright. The shadows too long. Every passerby looked like they knew something they refused to say. He wandered, turning corners aimlessly, until he found it. A building he hadn't noticed before. It looked like a radio station. Towering antenna, rusted door, tinted windows. No signage. But the brass key in his pocket burned warm. The tag read transmission. He stepped forward. The door unlocked with a soft click. Inside, the building smelled like wet dust and old copper. Machinery lined the walls. Dusty mixers, tangled wires, blank screens. In the center stood a microphone, ancient and cracked, resting under a flickering bulb. A sign above it read, "Speak clearly. Memory listens." He sat down, took a breath, switched the mic on, and said, "My name is Elliot Cross." The moment the words left his mouth, every monitor in the room sparked to life. Dozens of screens, dozens of rooms, each one showing a moment Elliot couldn't remember, but somehow recognized. A hospital room, a burning photo, a door he never opened, a boy's face he should have known. Then one screen showed the church again, but this time, it wasn't Elliot standing at the altar. It was Mrs. Hargrove, and she was whispering into the static. He staggered back, tripping over a tangle of cords. The room crackled. The microphone emitted a low, metallic groan, like something waking up after years of sleep. Then came the voice. It was Elliot's, but not. It was deeper, slower, warped. "You're not the first signal. You're just the clearest." The lights exploded. The building plunged into blackness. When they flickered back on, the screen showed only one thing. The map, etched in light, and Elliot's name was glowing red. He ran. Out of the station. Into the street. Past silent people and blinking signs. He didn't stop until he reached the edge of Greystone. A rusted gate he hadn't seen before, hidden behind overgrowth and forgotten fences. He yanked it open. The field beyond stretched flat and gray, dotted with old antenna towers, dozens of them, each humming faintly. At the center stood a single telephone booth. Old, glass cracked, receiver hanging like a noose, and it was ringing. Elliot stepped inside, the floor sticky beneath his boots. He picked up the receiver. The line hissed. Then a voice, not his, not Hargrove's, something far colder, whispered, "Memory complete. Begin projection." The sky darkened instantly. Behind him, every antenna in the field sparked with light, red, blue, then white. Then the air pulsed, like reality itself was buffering. Elliot dropped the receiver and turned to run, but Greystone was gone. In its place stood rows of endless hallways. dim, identical, stretching in every direction, flickering lights, old radios, and whispers, thousands of whispers, bouncing off the walls like moths in a jar. Then one whisper broke through clearly, "Elliot." He turned and saw himself, smiling, holding the same brass key,